And welcome back. The United Nations says the extent of devastation caused by Cyclone Idai has become clearer and getting bigger by the hour.
A storm that ravaged large swaths of Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Malawi found more than 3 million people in its path, with Mozambique's president warning that the death toll could exceed 1,000 in his country alone. If confirmed, this could be the deadliest tropical cyclone to hit our region, the Southern African region.
5 days after the storm made landfall in Mozambique, victims are reportedly trapped on roofs and clinging to trees awaiting rescue as floodwaters continue to rise.
We are talking about a massive disaster right now, with hundreds of thousands and the millions of people potentially affected. We need all the logistical support that we can get. We need to have proper assessments first of what exactly is needed. As we have heard, it is by air we can reach people, and it is by water as well.
Storm surges reached meters deep in some parts, causing what humanitarian agencies have described as incredible devastation, while some 260,000 children have been affected in Mozambique alone.
Colleagues talked of flooding perhaps in parts as deep as 6 metres, covering roofs, covering palm trees, covering telephone poles.
Many people are in desperate situations. Several thousand are fighting for their lives at the moment, sitting on rooftops, in trees and other elevated areas. This includes families and obviously many children.
While floodwaters have reportedly begun to recede in Zimbabwe and Malawi, allowing some people to return home, the World Food Programme warned that Mozambique is facing the greatest humanitarian emergency of the countries affected.
It was very difficult to land the plane like this. Can you imagine? In an airport, damaged by the water, dark, no light, no radio communication with the control tower. I mean, nothing. Those pilots are incredible.
Across the three nations, tens of thousands have lost their homes, while roads, bridges and crops have been washed away. Heavy rain is continuing in some parts and more is forecast.
What we're seeing emerging from our informal networks and from the official databases is if the worst fears are realised, and the Mozambican President is quoted as saying they are fearing more than 1,000 casualties. If these reports, these fears are realised, then we can say that it is one of the worst weather-related disasters, tropical cyclone-related disasters in the Southern Hemisphere. So we're not talking about the Northern Hemisphere, we're talking about the Southern Hemisphere.
The UN says it's scaling up its humanitarian response.
The United Nations says 4 tons of biscuits are to be delivered by air late Tuesday, part of a 20-ton consignment flown into the region from Dubai. Negotiations, we're told, are also at an advanced stage to bring 2 freight aircraft to Beira. The World Health Organization says their initial priority is to help those with crush and trauma injuries, but that the longer-term needs will include dealing with a potential rise in waterborne diseases like cholera and rebuilding many of the destroyed health centers in the region. Sherwin Brycepease, SABC News, New York.